Silicon metal and ferroalloys are critical materials. They form the backbone of many industrial and consumer products. Think EV batteries, solar panels, and semiconductors. A global leading producer of these materials is Ferroglobe. Today, we are sitting down with its CEO, Marco Levi, to discuss why their work is so vital in shaping the energy transition.
Have you been to the WEF before?
No, never.
Would you
My
like to?
chairman. I would love to, because I am very interested in politics. I think it's promising, because until now they have not been making the decisions that they should have been making.
Marco, first of all, welcome to Davos. It's wonderful to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you, Olivia. Really pleased to be here with you.
Let's start with you because you have a very long track record in the chemicals industry. How did all of that lead you to Ferroglobe?
Thank you for the question. I will try to be brief. The funny thing is that I have a degree in metallurgy, and I didn't touch metals until I joined Ferroglobe. I was always exposed to the chemical industry, the plastic industry, and I'm Italian, I've been living in few countries, Italy, Switzerland, Finland, US, now Spain. I spent most of my career in chemicals at Dow Chemical, where I developed my key skills of vice president, general manager. Then when Dow Chemical divested 7 billion business to Bain Capital, I joined this new company and we built this new company. And then when we IPO'd, I moved out to become, to have the first experience as a CEO in Finland for a global company in specialty paper. So I am known to be a turnaround CEO. I turned around this company in Finland, and now with Ferroglobe, I've been turning around Ferroglobe. Now I'm transforming Ferroglobe, I'm growing Ferroglobe. And in the middle, I have done some other private equity stuff. I'm a certified board member. I also sit in the board of another listed company in US, Mativ, and listed in NASDAQ. So this is who I am.
So you've really come full circle and the university degree is coming in handy.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, university prepares you mainly from a technical point of view. But, I don't get scared when I see some technical stuff, because this is my background.
Well, at the moment, Ferroglobe is the leading producer of silicon metal in the Western world. What role do these very vital materials play in the move towards the energy transition?
Yeah, you're right. Ferroglobe is a global company, but has a strong footprint in the West. And in the West, for silicon and silicon alloys, we are the main producer. And our objective is to keep this position. But in order to keep this position, we need to make sure that we grow. We grow in a sustainable way, and we follow the key trends. We insist a lot on innovation, and innovation in metallurgy is related mainly to, I would say, to develop trade secrets to produce better your products. It all starts, if you allow me some time on that, it all starts from your knowledge on mining. We are 80% back integrated in quartz. Quartz is something that is a commodity that everybody knows, is quite abundant on Earth. But finding high quality quartz is not so easy. So we are miners too. We are not only smelters, right? And we are quite well back integrated with high quality quartz. This is the base. Then you produce your metals, right? With a simple reaction in a quite complex plant. And there you need to continue to improve your operational capabilities. And this is where you have to develop a lot of trade secrets. And trade secrets come from implementing technologies that you are on the shelf and trying, but also by applying some technologies that are part of the manufacturing 4.0, right? So we apply automation, we apply Internet of Things, we apply data analytics, all of that to improve not only the quality of the product, but also the cost to produce these products in a sustainable way. So there is a continuous innovation in terms of producing the right products, because at the end, these products, silicon metal is absolutely critical for aluminum production. You cannot produce aluminum without silicon. You cannot produce silicones without silicon. You cannot produce cells and modules for solar without silicon. And in the future, you will not be able to produce cost-efficient batteries without silicon. You cannot produce steel without manganese or silicon-based alloys. So these products are essential, cannot be replaced. Competitive product can replace them, but you cannot replace with different products. So and with the development also in steel and aluminum, you need to continuously adjust your products. There is also another innovation aspect which is related to batteries. As you know, batteries have been developing a lot in the recent years. Now there is a sort of slowdown, but the future will be with more batteries and
we're still going to need them.
Yeah, with more car with batteries. And there we have developed a so-called micro silicon metal with the aim of producing a full silicon metal-based anode. Why is this interesting? First, we have an alliance with a company in the US called Coreshell. We have developed a technology to replace graphite in the anode of the batteries. Why is it so important? 90% of the graphite comes from China. And with the current geopolitical conflicts, it is quite important that the West finds an alternative source, an alternative technology to displace graphite. On top, the current batteries are not so cost efficient. They don't recharge fast enough, and the durability is not good enough. So silicon has an electrical capacity which is 10 times bigger than graphite. So with silicon anodes, you can develop batteries that are cheaper, faster to recharge, or with a much longer duration. And this quarter, together with Coreshell, we started sampling the first batteries based on our technology to American OEMs. So we really hope to bring a revolution to the battery market with this technology.
Well, it seems that you have a lot on your plate, and I know that silicon metal is really crucial for so many industrial and consumer products, some that you've mentioned already. But are you trying to say that batteries is going to be the focus of your work going forward?
Well, batteries is going to be the focus in terms of new business, because until now, silicon metal penetration in batteries is extremely limited. You replace from 5 to 10% of the graphite in the anode of the battery with silicon metal anodes or silicon modified products, but you cannot increase this replacement. Our technology allows you to build anodes which are between 70 and 100% made out of silicon. But the other businesses are going to be quite important, because steel is critical, aluminum is critical, chemicals for construction and healthcare are critical. So business will go on also on the current business streams.
So you're doing a lot of steps in furthering this green transition, and I know that sustainability is also a really key part of your company itself. In fact, you do have an ambitious target to cut emissions by 26% by 2030. What is it going to take to reach that?
Well, we could do much better. Let me be very clear with you. First of all, the To produce our products from a metallurgical point of view, you need coal. And when you use coal, you will always emit CO2. There is no way. With steel, when you produce steel, you can replace coal with hydrogen, for example, as a reductant. Sorry for the chemical swing. But with our products, the C molecule has to be there. Now, how do we get greener? Because we cannot get completely green. And the world needs these products. First, all our furnaces where we produce, which are the core of our manufacturing facilities, produce with electricity as a source. No gas, no oil. It's only electricity. So we have all electrical furnaces. So one way to lower your footprint is to use sources of electricity based on renewable resources. Solar, wind, and also nuclear, right, is classified like renewable. This is the first thing. So have energy contract based on these sources. The second big thing is about using technologies to lower the amount of electricity that you need to produce each single ton of material. And I go back to what I said before with manufacturing 4.0, data analytics, and so on. Then you have another step. You need the C molecule, but you can replace coal. You can replace coal with biocarbon. And biocarbon can be charcoal or can be from biomass. So we are running trials to replace the C molecule in this way. Not only that, but in South Africa, we already produce only based on charcoal, so coming from wood. And now we're building a new plant in Spain, in Galicia, to feed our plant in Sabon, Galicia, only with charcoal. These are the first steps. And these steps can be done, but more can be done. You can recover heat from your furnaces. When you run our chemical reactions, you operate at very high temperature, and a lot of heat gets dissipated. So by having large furnaces, by having heat recovery, you can recover a lot of energy and lower dramatically your carbon footprint. We have also run a project in Norway to capture CO2. So all these furnaces emit fumes that get filtered, and you have a lot of CO2. Now, can this CO2 be captured and reused? Absolutely. But today, it's a technology that costs a lot of money and is not sustainable. The other key part is that we can recycle silicon metal. For example, we have the capability to recycle kerf. Kerf is the scrap of the production of cells in solar. So we basically can get the scraps from the production and recycle them in our silicon metal production. All of this is feasible. We can go much further than 26% decarb. But hey, in the world, we need the same level playing field, because all of this costs money in terms of research, in terms of investment. Think about just building a new plant for charcoal or attaching heat recovery to one of our furnaces. And in Europe, there is super strong pressure to decarbonize. But this makes us uncompetitive versus players in other countries like, of course, China, but also Malaysia, India, Kazakhstan, who are not producing with the same requirements. So we need a level playing field agreed by the politicians to continue delivering on decarbonization.
Marco, let's finish up, because at the beginning of the conversation, you did say that you are a man of turnarounds. Looking at where Ferroglobe currently is, are you happy with the state of the company, and what does the next growth roadmap look like?
Yeah, let me talk about that. Let's talk about the difficulties and let's talk about the positives. Our products for US and the EU are critical and strategic for the applications that I mentioned. And what is going not in the right direction is the fact that local producers in US and Europe are losing dramatic market share. For the reasons that I mentioned before, not the same level playing field. There is a lot of overcapacity, subsidized overcapacity built in certain countries. These countries basically adopt an aggressive dumping strategy to acquire market share. All the energy that feeds these plants is based on coal, right? And they don't have the same limitations that we have in terms of emissions or the same targets in terms of decarbonization. I'll give you a snapshot of the European situation. European producers today, for all our product mix, have lost 50% market share in the last 5 years to these new producers. And today Europe is back integrated with these critical and strategic raw materials only at a range of 15%. So what we need are new trade measures. There is no other way. I like to compete, but here we are facing unfair competitions for critical and strategic raw materials. And the EU just announced before Christmas an investigation related to that that will hopefully drive to meaningful, even temporary, but meaningful measures to allow us to not only protect, but to recover some of the business. Let me talk about the positives. I think that this company can only grow in the future. Why? First, I don't think that EU and US can continue, losing market share in steel and aluminum to the Asian producers. So I think that there will be a new balance thanks to trade measures that will allow the West to recover production and then give opportunities for us to grow again in these areas. I mentioned energy transition. Of course, energy transition is a second leg of growth. And I believe in batteries, but I also believe that sooner or later, solar supply chains will be established also in the West. We cannot continue having 100% of the solar supply chain based in Asia. As Ferroglobe, we have one advantage. When we put together Globe and Ferroatlantica, we built a true global company with assets in a lot of countries. And this footprint allows us to expand capacity brownfield, which is much cheaper than building a new plant. So we're going to be extremely competitive to sustain this growth.
So let's talk about the positive side and finish up on a more optimistic note.
Yeah, I see mainly 4 legs where Ferroglobe is going to grow in the future. First, what I just said, I think US and Europe will start protecting businesses like steel and aluminum, and this will drive more consumption of our current products. I mentioned energy transition. I believe in batteries because we are so close having the right technology, but I believe in solar. I believe that solar supply chains will be established in the West too. We cannot continue having 100% of the supply chain based in the Asian countries. It's not balanced because solar is so critical for the future. As Ferroglobe, when we put together Globe and Ferroatlantica, we put together a company that has an advantage, has a broad asset footprint. And thinking about investments to sustain the growth is much cheaper to invest at an existing plant rather than building a greenfield plant. So I think we have a competitive advantage there. And last but not least, take batteries or solar. When you become so important for new supply chains, there are always opportunities to participate downstream in these supply chains. And we are looking at, from a strategic point of view, at which opportunities are there for Ferroglobe. So the company is debt-free, has growth opportunities. We are pretty strong on sustainability. I think we are among the best on innovation in our products. So I'm pretty pumped up to continue to drive this company.
So it seems like it's going to be a very complex and busy road ahead for you, but I take it you see this as a very exciting challenge.
I like it complex. I am extremely pumped up coming from a turnaround to have the opportunity to grow a company. This is what keeps me awake every night.
Well, I guess you are in the right position. Thank you so much for joining us, Marco.
Thank you so much, Olivia.
Today, Ferroglobe has a global footprint with more than 25 operating sites and a workforce of over 3,000 people. And growth is on the cards as the company continues to produce critical materials to support the green transition.